Let's see if we can get some clarity from Global's chief political correspondent, David Akin. He's in Ottawa and joins me now. David, the government calls it a mistake. The opposition says it's a fireable offense. Do we have any sense, kind of 3 or 4 days into this now, where Canadians stand on it?
Not really. I mean, because it really broke over the weekend, and so we're learning a lot of things about this, and we're watching the reaction in the House of Commons. But a couple of things to point out. Again, the government and Minister Sajjan himself calling it a mistake. But it's a mistake that was made twice, not once. It was made most recently and first came to light when he had this speech in India. But we also found some videotape of him saying the identical thing, calling himself the architect of this key battle in Afghanistan in July 2015 when he was running to become an MP. So it seems quite clearly that this had been part of his mythology that he'd been telling people. And it's very puzzling because his war record is outstanding. He's a decorated soldier. He really didn't need to embellish a resume that was so outstanding in many respects to begin with. So that's where the opposition starts, and those are the two facts. And yesterday, Minister Sajjan was asked by reporters and by opposition politicians to explain why. Why did you do that? And he didn't. He did apologize, I think it was 11 times in the House of Commons, by saying, I own this mistake and I'm sorry for it. He said that over and over again. But he also never asked, when we asked him, have you embellished anything else? Have you made a false claim about anything else? Usually you would think a politician's first answer to that is no. But he didn't. He just came back to saying, I'm sorry for the mistake I made. So it's a new day. I'm afraid to say I'm pretty sure this is not going to go away for Minister Sajjan. He's going to face some more grilling today in the House of Commons from the opposition.
Yeah, that was my next question for you, David. Is this something, does this look like something the government can simply ride out? Or with this news, as we were just talking about a minute ago, that Mr. Sajjan not only inflated but also downplayed his role in Afghanistan at times, is this building into something bigger?
Well, I think we have to put this all in context because right now the Defense Department is in some disarray. Here we have, first of all, right at the top, the Minister of National Defense. He's fighting a credibility battle quite clearly. But don't forget, one of the other big stories out of the Defense Department over the last few weeks is the suspension of our number 2 in charge, the Vice Chief of Defense Staff, Vice Admiral Mark Norman. He is on suspended leave, accused of leaking cabinet secrets. So if you are our allies, the United States, the Brits, the French, or you're a serviceman, a sergeant in the forces, looking at the top of our chain of command, you must be wondering, what the heck is going on? So there's a lot of important issues right now the Defense Department has to deal with, everything from procurement to dispatching our troops somewhere to Africa to help with the United Nations missions. And again, we've got a credibility issue with the Defense Minister, a vacancy with our number 2 accused of leaking secrets. It's a mess.
All right, just finally got about 30 seconds here, David, but as the minister, I know that you mentioned he was evasive at times yesterday, and he's apologized. He says there's no excuses, but does he need to do more? Does he need to sit down for a one-on-one interview and answer some direct questions to make this go away?
You know, that's a good point. I've never worked in communications, but I have a lot of comms people talk to me all the time, and I think that may be a very good idea. Something that isn't a scrum where reporters are yelling and screaming, or it's opposition politicians calling for the guy's head. If he can sit down and walk us through what happened, I think that might be a very good idea towards reestablishing that credibility.
All right, David Akin for us in Ottawa this morning. David, thank you.